You're now listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.
Hello, Rockies. This is Sarah Jane Maroney, your host for Engage the Rockies Week in Review. This is the fourth week of March in 2025. First up, Signal messaging. The Denver mayor and staff have used this encrypted app to discuss migrant crises and then auto-deleted the messages. Signal is an app that you are allowed to put the settings on, and it can delete anywhere from 30 seconds up to 4 weeks automatically. That means the entire conversation. And because it's an encrypted app, it goes from only the phone that it's on to the phone that it's on. It's not stored on a central server. And the city confirmed that Mayor Johnston's group was auto-deleting internal messages. And this auto-deletion was from the 15th of January to the 24th of January, when they then turned around and set the messages to retain for 4 weeks. But by the 29th of January, they had disabled that function entirely and kept the conversation. And they nicknamed their group the Strike Force. It included 14 top advisors for the mayor. And this was found through an open records request showing Mayor Johnston's his calendar and a note from the director of strategic initiatives saying we are going to use Signal to communicate and that it remains encrypted and secure, and the messages will auto delete. So this is what alerted everyone that they were using the Signal app. One of Mayor Johnston's original guiding principles when he was elected was transparency. And it's quite curious that this is an app that doesn't allow that. The mayor's spokesperson said that the Strike Force Signal group is still in use when there are relevant updates that impact Denver. In Aurora, authorities have declined to help search for 2 illegal aliens that escaped a Colorado detention facility. The Aurora Public Police Information Officer said that the department did not receive a report about these escaped detainees until 2:30 a.m., 2 hours after the men were confirmed missing and 5 hours after the facility's power went out. But once it's restored, they should be able to review the camera footage. And there was a door that left the facility open to a soccer field where the 2 men escaped from. And ICE said that they are looking for them and asked for help. However, the Aurora Police Department was quoted as saying it was a cold event from the time that they were notified, and they are working with their federal partners to determine if they have any connections in the city of Aurora. And when the time warrants and active and information is confirmed, these men were apprehended. We will assist. On Sunday, President Trump tweeted about his portrait in the Colorado state capitol. He said, quote, "Nobody likes a bad picture painting of themselves, but the one in Colorado in the state capitol, put up by the governor along with all other presidents, was purposely distorted to a level that even I, perhaps, have never seen before," Trump wrote. And he said that the artist also did President Obama, and he looks wonderful, but the one of me is truly the worst. The Senate Minority Leader Paul Lundeen asked the Executive Committee of the Legislative Council to remove and replace it, and the House Democrats announced that the portrait will be taken down at the request of the Republican leaders 1 day after Trump posted on social media about his displeasure. It was placed there on Colorado Day on the 1st of August in 2019, more than 5 years ago. All 6 members of the Executive Committee of the Legislative Council, that's the top leaders from both parties of the House and the Senate, signed off on the decision to remove the portrait. City Council elections for Colorado Springs are around the corner. Ballots are due on the 1st of April at 7 p.m., so make sure to get those in if you have not done so already. Speaking of, in District 3 for the Colorado Springs City Council, there are 5 candidates running, so a highly competitive seat. And one of those candidates, Rick Gillett, is going to appear before the Douglas County Court in April, on the 7th of April, virtually is his appearance. And this is for a $240,000 loan that he took out when he purchased a Parker-based insurance company in 2018. And it is alleged that he was in breach of contract pretty much immediately as one of the payments right away was late. And he's trying to get this lawsuit settled before the election, which obviously is around the corner. Last week, Thursday, President Trump signed an executive order to begin the process of closing the Department of Education. This has created quite a furrow, and there are lots of questions. Trump's order instructs the education secretary, quote, to maximize extent appropriate and permitted by law to take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the Department of Education and return authority over education to the states and local communities, end quote. And the department was established in 1979 and would be pared down to core necessities, preserving Title I for low-income schools and the Pell Grants and money for children with disabilities. But it's unclear if they're going to continue to manage the $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio. All of the Democrats are against this and objecting strenuously. There was a particular comment from Senator Hickenlooper saying this can't be done without congressional approval. And that sentiment that it can't be closed without congressional approval was echoed by freshman Republican Representative Jeff Hurd. However, he was still cheering the measure. And all of the Republican delegation are in favor of this. And Gabe Evans said that it will eliminate bureaucracy and let parents make more decisions about their children's education. So there's a lot going on here, and it's not exactly clear what the implications will be for all of that. If we move specifically into education in relation to Colorado, the JBC is almost done with their budget, and they're expected to have had that finished by the end of next week. There's quite a lot of contention around a bill creating formula, which is House Bill 24-1448. And this is a trigger in terms of schooling costs. It's a 6-year phased period formula where they can pause the implementation based on one of two conditions: a decrease in local property taxes covering the K-12 funding, or income tax diversion to state education. If that decreases by 5% or more, then it will be reevaluated. This, again, has had some bipartisan support, but also has some pushback. And it is adding $150 million in general funds to the state for the public K-12 education, and the state contribution being just over $10 billion, including $4.4 billion from general funds. Fund is the third prong of K-12. First two are local property taxes and a state general fund. And that fund came out of a 2003 Amendment 23, directing 1/3 of 1% of all taxable income to be deposited annually into it. Senator Kirkmeyer indicated that she worries that the state education fund could become insolvent. And all of these things are due to wrap up when they have closed the budget. So we will see what happens. And those are the top stories for the fourth week of March in 2025. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.